Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. Now this is regarding a bit more news is about Jose Mourinho and Ed Woodward, the chief, Ed Woodward, reportedly now the assistant, Ed Woodward and Jose Mourinho have reportedly, been in discussions, and Mourinho's been in discussions with Ed Woodward, about plans for the January transfer window, because we know now it's not long before the January window comes. And reportedly now, Jose Mourinho has been told, been informed by Ed Woodward that he will have around £80 million to spend in the January transfer window. So reportedly, he's going to get an £80 million spending spree. Is Jose Mourinho in the January transfer window as well? Because obviously Jose Mourinho spent 300 million, roundabout in three transfer windows with Manchester United. This is his second season at the club. He has got a 3-year deal as well as Jose Mourinho as well. But reportedly, as we all know, Jose Mourinho did say in the press the other week, actually, that Jose Mourinho was identifying 4 left-footed players, and the board did say basically Manchester United have got to sell, before they can buy as well. But Mourinho did miss out quite a few times in auction. Griezmann, Bale, Danny Rose, Fabinho, Ivan Perisic, but obviously we didn't get Ivan Perisic because Man United were not willing to pay the £48 million Inter Milan were demanding. And Jose Mourinho is basically still looking to address the left-hand side, because I think that's the main part where Manchester United, need to strengthen up in the squad. And we still got players that are coming to the end of the deals. At the moment, are not looking likely they're going to sign new deals, such as Fellaini, could lose him on a free chance next summer. Could even lose Mkhitaryan, with him falling down the pecking order. Was in good form, at the beginning of the season. Was Mkhitaryan, getting goals, finding assists. But he's been dropped recently, due to his recent form, which has been poor. We've got Michael Carrick there, who's going to be coming to the end of his career as well. He's won every single domestic cup. He's been over the club now a decade, and he's been suffering from heart problems. And we know we've also, got Matt, who is yet to sign a new deal at Old Trafford as well. So you can understand basically why Jose Mourinho is looking for the reinforcements into the squad as well. So reportedly, Ed Woodward and Jose Mourinho have been in discussions. They've come to an agreement that Ed Woodward has basically told Mourinho he's going to be getting £80 million to spend in the January transfer window as well. But basically, we could actually offload a couple of players, to raise this as well. And reportedly, Luke Shaw and Darmian could also go in the January window. It has reported out as well. So basically, saying in the matter about Luke Shaw and Darmian, what it said about Luke Shaw is we know that Luke Shaw's been linked, with a move to Newcastle. Newcastle have been interested in Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is under contract with Manchester United until 2019, and he did say Man United have put a price tag out of around £20 million, in the January window. I don't think Newcastle are prepared to pay this. I think Newcastle were actually keen on getting him on a loan deal, but not actually signing him permanently as well. It's also said Chelsea have been interested in Luke Shaw, Arsenal have been interested in Luke Shaw, but let's be honest, Luke Shaw is fourth or fifth choice left back now at Manchester United. He's, he hasn't been the same player, since he's broke his foot. We know that Luke Shaw is injury prone with the club as well as Luke Shaw. We know he made his England team debut in 2014. Manchester United purchased him for £29 million from Southampton back in 2014 as well, and this is 4th season of the process, and he has had a difficult time at Manchester United because Luke Shaw hasn't played in the Premier League this season. He's played twice in the Carabao Cup, but he is good when he gets them run of games, is Luke Shaw, as we all currently know in the current process. But as I was saying about Luke Shaw, he's only played 32 times in the Premier League for Manchester United. I think he's nearly made century appearances all in the Premier League. This is including his time at Southampton as well. Jose Mourinho had give Luke Shaw a lot of criticism, last season, especially Luke Shaw. And he did say his career could be over, after a fallout with Jose Mourinho as well. But yes, we know there has been talks of Luke Shaw, and Danny Rose as a potential swap deal, as well, as we all currently know, as a potential swap deal, Luke Shaw and Danny Rose. He did say Man United were willing to offer £40 million, to Tottenham, plus offer Luke Shaw, so we can go on and get Danny Rose, basically. But Luke Shaw, has been talks about him potentially going back to Southampton, but as I said, Southampton probably have to offload Ryan Bertrand before that happens, as I said. But saying that, Luke Shaw used to work with Pochettino at Southampton, but could Luke Shaw potentially go to Spurs? Because there has been that speculation going around about Luke Shaw and Danny Rose as a potential swap deal. But it has come out in the press basically that Tottenham are willing to offload Danny Rose in January for £45 million. So basically, if Man United are prepared to pay the £45 million that Tottenham are demanding, then we could get the player in January, because Danny Rose, very, very good. We know he is frustrated with Pochettino because he hasn't played much this season, this season, especially, recovering from injury, because he'd been out of the Tottenham squad, about 9 or 10 months, due to injury. Ben Davies has been full in Danny Rose's spot as well, but he is still young. He's got good attacking instincts. He's distinct in his play. His defensive distribution is very, very good as well, and I think he'd be a perfect replacement there for Luke Shaw with Danny Rose as well. Danny Rose is still under contract with Spurs until 2021. We know he's been at quite a lot of teams on loan as well, Danny Rose, and he actually, began his career with Leeds. Did Danny Rose as well. But Danny Rose has made 130 odd appearances in the Premier League as Danny Rose. But yeah, he is a fantastic player, and he criticised Tottenham for their lack of investment back in August. He wasn't satisfied with the wages he was receiving, Danny Rose, and he's on around about £65,000 a week. Man United, there's teams like, teams that can offer him double that, and Manchester United can do that. And, these players, Danny Rose, eventually, will want to win silverware as well. He want to win silverware, elevate to a higher level. And with Tottenham, he may not be guaranteed to get this Danny Rose. He did say before he'd prefer the move to Manchester United over Chelsea, would Danny Rose as well. But Mourinho is still looking to address that left-hand side as well. But basically talking as well about Matteo Darmian, as I've updated you quite a few times. There's been quite a few teams interested in him. I think the Italian press have actually suggested out that Roma have been interested in Darmian, Sevilla have been interested in Darmian, and actually Luke Shaw could both leave the club in January. Darmian's also, Darmian, I think this is his third or fourth season now in the process with Manchester United. Is Matteo Darmian. Darmian won the FA Cup in his first season with us as well, but his versatility is very, very good. He can play on the left-hand side. Darmian, he can play on the left flank, he can play on the right flank well, he can play on the left full back, he can play as a right back as well, can Darmian. But Darmian made his international debut in 2014. We know he started his career at Inter Milan, age 17 where he made his debut, then went somewhere on loan, then went to Parma, then I think he went to Torino, and he had 4 fantastic seasons with Torino as well. Did Matteo Darmian had 4 fantastic seasons there. Since he's come to Manchester United, I think he's made about 77 appearances as Matteo Darmian, since he's come to Manchester United in the Premier League. But as I'm saying, Darmian hasn't had a lot of game time this season. Luke Shaw hasn't played at all in the Premier League, so they will be frustrated, with the lack of game time they are getting. So they will be frustrated with the lack of game time they are getting as well. So I still think, Danny Rose, potentially, he's still the favoured player, to go on and replace Luke Shaw. In my opinion, I think Danny Rose is the favoured player, as I said. But yeah, we will see what happens. But obviously, we know Jose Mourinho is looking to address the left-hand side. He's still basically, looking to address that midfield as well as Jose Mourinho. And as we all know, Leon Goretzka's, being the latest player, to be mentioned. Leon Goretzka from Schalke. He's had interest from Munich. He's had interest from Arsenal. He's had interest from Liverpool. And Barcelona, I think, have had an interest in him as well. But reportedly saying about Schalke, the Schalke director has actually come out regarding Leon Goretzka and said he wants him to stay. Schalke do not want to lose Leon Goretzka. He may want to leave, but Schalke in general do not want to lose Leon Goretzka. This is why they are offering Leon Goretzka a new deal, because he is still only young. He has become one of the bright prospects, in the Bundesliga Leon Goretzka as well. But what a fantastic young upcoming age prospect he is, and he's a very, very good player, because I think if he come to United, he'd bring creativeness there, he'd bring more creativeness, dynamism, very, very dynamic as well. Can play as defensive mid, he can play on each flank as well, can Leon Goretzka as well. But reportedly Leon Goretzka has said he will decide on his Schalke future in January as well. But reportedly these teams that are interested may prepare to have discussions, with Leon Goretzka's representatives over making potential move. He's coming to an end of his deal in summer 2018 as well as the player. But yeah, very, very good indeed. And he does look a very, very good player, to quite fair. He's made over 100 appearances now for Schalke, as the player. He's also been in the Schalke reserve team. Very good for Germany. Joint top scorer for Germany as well is Leon Goretzka. And Schalke only paid £3 or £4 million for him. So how much is he worth now? They will make a profit on this if they do decide to sell him in January, or they let him go on a free next summer if they don't secure him a new deal. But he signed a 5-year professional deal in 2013 with Schalke. And he's a they call it an ex-Bochum player, very, very good with Bochum. He was there quite a lot of years, raised up the youth system there, and then made his professional debut for Bochum in 2012 as well. But Manchester United have also looked into Leon Goretzka, because obviously, he's looking for replacements, especially in the midfield lane. Looking like he could leave on a free next summer, because we're now in the process of securing him a new deal, but we're not prepared to cash in for him in January. Mkhitaryan could still leave. Carrick, he's coming to an end of his career, so we do need these replacements. As I said, guys, and we've still got quite a few players in our team aging up. Fellaini's about 29, 30, is he? Carrick's bloody getting old now, as I said. So yeah, we do. I think we do need a bit more youth, to be fair, in the squad, and it would be good to see as well. And you've got also Manchester United, are interested, in Mesut Ozil. He's another potential player that Manchester United are interested in. Mesut Ozil as well in the current process. So I do, really, really like him. He's got a record of assists. He's been in the Premier League. Fantastic at creating chances. He's Mesut Ozil as well. Creative, strong, quick. Oh, such a fantastic player. And I thought he played well at the weekend. And he did praise the Manchester United bench, did Mesut Ozil as well. And we know that the contract talks have stalled to us, or nowhere near in the process of securing him a new deal. But yeah, he reportedly told teammates 4 or 5 weeks ago that he did want to join Manchester United, Mesut Ozil as well. We know the player has been linked with a move to Barcelona as well, because reports were actually stemming from the Spanish press the other day, over a week, that he had agreed a deal, he had agreed a contract with Barcelona, he'd agreed to join Barcelona. There'd been discussions between Barcelona and Arsenal, because Ozil's agent had been in discussions with Barcelona as well. And it did say Ozil had been given permission to leave Arsenal in the January window, and it said he could be available for around 20 million. It did say Ozil was demanding a higher wage increase. He was demanding wages of over £300,000, was Mesut Ozil as well. But Arsene Wenger has come out and basically suggested out that Ozil and Sanchez, the players that are going to end the deals with Arsenal, will not be sold in the January window, even though Wenger did admit he could leave in the January window. Man United may prepare to, get Ozil on a free transfer next summer and let him run out his current contract as well, Mesut Ozil as well. But suggesting how, as I said, Ian Wright, the former Arsenal player, said he'd be an unbelievable signing for us. Rio Ferdinand, the ex-Manchester United player, he's a Manchester United legend, has also said he'd be a good addition to our team, would Mesut Ozil. And, yeah, so this is what basically Rio Ferdinand said. There's also been talks in the press about maybe of Adrian Tuan from Barcelona and Ozil as a potential swap deal. We know there's been talks about that in the press as well. It's also said Chelsea have had an interest in Mesut Ozil as well. But I would like him at United. Very, very good number 10. Jose Mourinho says he's a very, very good number 10. He's Mesut Ozil, and we know he's got experience of being in Germany because he was in the Bundesliga for 5 years as well. And this is his 5th season in the process now of Arsenal. He's made over 100 appearances as Alexis Sanchez, as Mesut Ozil as well. And Jose Mourinho is keen on reuniting with the player as well, Mesut Ozil, because they worked fantastic together, at Real Madrid, and Arsenal paid £42 million for him from Real Madrid as well. But Messi did actually say he'd prefer Coutinho to Mesut Ozil at Barcelona, because obviously, as I said, Barcelona's main target is Coutinho, but they have got quite a few alternatives as well of Barcelona if they do fail with the pursuit of Coutinho, as we all know. But saying about Philippe Coutinho, guys, yes, Philippe Coutinho did confirm in the press the other day that Barcelona, and Liverpool, are still in in negotiations, since the window's shut about Coutinho. It did say Liverpool have actually, named the price tag out that Liverpool. What? Yeah, I'm just drinking my drink now. I'm just drinking my drink. I'm drinking my drink. I'm drinking my drink. I will. So yeah, so Liverpool reportedly demanded that they want around £127 million for Coutinho if they had to sell him in January. But I don't. Maybe are Barcelona prepared to pay up to £127 million? It is I'm quite unsure, to be quite honest with you. They may do, they may not do. But we know he's been heavily linked. So obviously Barcelona are weighing up other options in case they do fail with the with the pursuit of Philippe Coutinho. As I do keep up saying. But as I said about, what was I saying about Philippe Coutinho, he's still under contract Liverpool to 2022. Clearly, Liverpool owners and the Liverpool board were not willing to accept any bids for Coutinho, in the August window. And this is why Barcelona basically, didn't get a deal over the line for Coutinho. It was the main price target. Barcelona saw 3 bids turned down. But as I said, Coutinho, this is his 5th season now in the process of Liverpool. He's also had experience of being in Spain with Espanyol. Also had experience of being in Italy with Inter Milan. And Liverpool paid £8.5 million for him from Inter Milan. But Coutinho, if he goes to Barcelona, he elevates at a higher level, playing amongst better players, win silver. And, we heard on Klopp he's not going to be doing this is Philippe Coutinho, but he can play attacking mid, he can play as left wing. And obviously Barcelona are seeing him as a long-term replacement for Iniesta as well, Philippe Coutinho. But obviously, as I said, we know Barcelona are still heavily linked with him. So basically, if Barcelona fail with Coutinho, they do have alternatives as well in the current process. But could leave in January. Depends if Barcelona are prepared to pay the £127 million, basically, that Liverpool are demanding, for the player. Because I said Liverpool should have cashed in August, they generate the money, and they've got quite a few other targets, that they missed out on in August. And, Van Dijk was one of theirs, was Liverpool's. Van Dijk won their main priority targets, because Liverpool were actually prepared to pay up to £70 million Virgil van Dijk. That's what basically Southampton rated him at, but Southampton were reluctant and they actually resisted to offload Virgil van Dijk. They weren't willing to offload him. Southampton. Liverpool lended the interest back in June due to an illegal approach for Virgil van Dijk. I think he did actually, want to make the move to Liverpool, did Virgil van Dijk, but it never materialised, as I said. But he signed a 6-year deal back in May 2016 with Virgil van Dijk. So I think he's under contract with them. Is it 2022, 2023? Virgil van Dijk as well. Made his international debut in 2015 as well, did Virgil van Dijk. And, he'd been injured for quite a long time as well, Virgil van Dijk. But a very, very good during his Celtic days. I think this is his 3rd or 4th season now in the process of Southampton. Southampton paid £13 million for him. From Celtic, but Celtic good, won the PFA quite a few times, won the Scottish Premiership with them, won the Scottish League Cup with them, did Virgil van Dijk as well. So Liverpool could still revive the interest in him as well. But obviously, if Coutinho goes, they can generate that money and probably get 2 world-class players, or as I said, at that money, But Liverpool are obviously going to identify replacements for Coutinho if he's going to go as well. So. But as I said, another player, that's been on Manchester United's radar, Antoine Griezmann, are Manchester United, prepared to go for Griezmann, in the January window, because Griezmann, as I said, has been heavily linked to a move to Old Trafford. He did estimate 6 out of 10. He was going to come to Old Trafford, Griezmann, as well. But due to Atletico Madrid's transfer ban, as we all know, Manchester United, didn't get a deal over the line for Antoine Griezmann. So that was a real shame that Man United didn't get a deal over the line for Griezmann. Griezmann did sign a new deal back in June with Atletico Madrid, I think, until 2022 as well, did the current player. But he's reportedly also been on Barcelona's agenda as well. He's not been Barcelona's main priority target, because obviously Barcelona clearly, are a rich club. And they clearly weren't satisfied with the August window, because, they did get a few players. They got Deulofeu in, they got Ousmane Dembele in from Borussia Dortmund. Who else did they get? And they got Deulofeu, Ousmane Dembele, Nelson Semedo, I can't remember who else they got in as well, but they did get them in. So yeah, and Griezmann reportedly did send, well, reports stemming from France and that reportedly the other day it did say Griezmann had agreed personal terms with Barcelona. It said he had agreed a deal in principle to join Barcelona at Griezmann, but it actually reported from the Spanish press the other day, Dan Bollon, that Griezmann had actually asked Barcelona to trigger his release clause, which he does have a release clause around £87 million. Does Griezmann? What? All right. Does Griezmann as well. He does have an 87 million release clause, does Griezmann, but potentially Manchester United could make a move for him in January, maybe go for him in the summer. But as I said, it says we have to sell before we can buy, and as I'm suggesting now, Man United, Mourinho's been in discussions with Ed Woodward, and reportedly Ed Woodward is prepared to give him an £80 million war an £80 million war chest, and he's giving it basically suggests that he's gonna have 80 million to spend in January. Is Jose Mourinho, but obviously it's looking like Luke Shaw and Darmian could leave in the January window as well. And he actually said, Jose Mourinho was actually demanding 200. He said in the other week in the press he was, he's demanding £200 million He was demanding £200 million, and he actually, identified 4 left-footed players. Did Jose Mourinho as well. But saying about Griezmann, yeah, I'd love him at Manchester United because we've got number 7 vacant. From a commercial point of view, we wouldn't want to keep number 7 vacant. As I do keep saying, I don't want us to keep number 7 vacant. But yeah, it'd be fantastic. Good leaner lines, very, very clinical. He's Antoine Griezmann, skillful, good in the air. As I said, he's Antoine Griezmann, just fantastic player. So much experience, being in Spain. He's Griezmann as well. But potentially, we all know, he said the Man United move's still a possibility. Regretted the decision he didn't come. Man United have approached his representatives, had talks about it. And I think he has confirmed to Diego Simeone this could be his last season with Atletico Madrid. Also has a fantastic friendship with Paul Pogba as well. Does Antoine Griezmann as well. So this is what I'm saying to you guys in the current process. So much experience, Real, very good in the Euro 2016, voted the player of the tournament, very, very good for France, very, very good during his days with Real Sociedad, won the title there, scored 52 goals, just over 200 appearances for them. Hasn't been his best form this season, to be quite fair, with Atletico Madrid as Antoine Griezmann, but potentially he's been Manchester United's main target, as we all know as well. And potentially, as I updated you guys yesterday, about Gareth Bale as well. Potentially, we've been interested in Gareth Bale, since 2013. We're interested during the David Moyes era. I think Man United, went for him in 2016. I think we've been interested since, he was actually Southampton player, where Gareth Bale, had risen up the ranks as well. Real Madrid, he's won 10 honours, now, he's won 3 Champions Leagues in 4 seasons with Real Madrid. This is 5th season now, with Real Madrid. Real Madrid had paid £85 million for him from Tottenham back in 2013. But actually, it said in the press yesterday, as I did say on my live video yesterday night, that actually, the board have actually made a decision regarding Gareth Bale. And it says, it's actually saying Real Madrid value the player at around £100 million. But I think Man United are going to actually end their interest in the player. And it actually said we want to end his interest in the player unless Real Madrid, put a price tag that's a lot cheaper than £100 million. It did say if Real Madrid do half the price, then Man United may consider making a move for the player, because obviously due to his injury prone, as we all know, he's known for injuries. He's injury prone, especially during his time with Real Madrid. He's been injured this season as Gareth Bale. He's just recently recovered from injury as well as Gareth Bale. It did say Florentino Perez and Real Madrid are looking to generate the same amount of funds, that they paid for him from Tottenham back in 2013. But back in August, Man United were willing to pay up to £100 million for Bale as well. But he did say he was happy in Spain, Gareth Bale. He is under contract, don't forget, with Real Madrid until 2022 as well. He's the player. When he's fully fit, Bale's had good physical attributes, good at putting crosses into the box as well as Gareth Bale, and just all around very, very good player. He's Premier League proven as well. Had 6 fantastic years with Tottenham. Risen up the ranks with Southampton as well. Did Gareth Bale, but what would concern me if come to Manchester United, you know, that he's known for injuries, and that really would concern me. And very, very good for Wales. Second top scorer for Wales, you know, and he's behind Ian Wright as well. He's Bale. Potentially, I think Man United are only willing to go for him if Real Madrid half the price. I think Man United are willing to pay the most for Bale now as it stands, up to £60 million for the player as well. And that confirmed in the press yesterday as well. But obviously Real Madrid, you know, have got quite a few players aging up in their squad. They haven't had a good start this season. You know, they've got Ronaldo, best player in the world, but aging up. Benzema aging up. You know, Bale's aging up, you know, and they haven't been in the best form this season as well. And Bale's aging up as well, as I forgot to say. So they're looking for replacements as well. Real Madrid, obviously it come out in the press the other day. One of their players, it reportedly said in the Spanish press that reportedly Real Madrid are emerging the front runners to actually go on and sign Chelsea's David Luiz. David Luiz is under contract with Chelsea until 2019. He can play as a defender. He can also play as he can play as defensive mid. He can play as centre back as well. Can David Luiz. He's quite tall as well. He's David Luiz, and this is his second season in the process with Chelsea. Well, he was at Chelsea before, but obviously Chelsea repurchased him back from Paris Saint-Germain for £34 million. But the Spanish press have reported that Real Madrid have reportedly, you know, allegedly agreed a January move for David Luiz, because it confirmed that David Luiz quite a while, about 3 weeks ago, was it summer, that he had a fallout with Conte. He had a bust up with Conte. He had a bust up with Conte, and he did say Man United were also interested in him, and Jose Mourinho was keen on a reunion with David Luiz as well. David Luiz has made over a century appearances, you know, for Chelsea now, as I said. David Luiz, and you know, he's for Brazil. You know, he's part of the Brazil squad who won the 2013 FIFA Confederations Cup. Also, you know, got to the semi. I think got to the semi-finals of 2014. FIFA World Cup as well, did David Luiz, and so reportedly he did have a fallout with Conte. He did say he could leave Chelsea in the January window, and reportedly Real Madrid have showed an interest in, because he's had experience of being in France as a player as David Luiz, also experience of being in Portugal with Benfica. He'd recently ranked to Benfica, you know, then he went to Chelsea, you know, went to Paris Saint-Germain. PSG had paid $50 million for him. He was only there a couple of years, and then Chelsea had repurchased him back as well. Real Madrid have identified him. That's one of the players that are on Real Madrid's radar. You know, David De Gea's, you know, Real Madrid are also looking into quite a few goalkeepers as well, as we all know. So, that's mainly everything to update today. So the main part of this video is about Ed Woodward, Jose Mourinho. Reportedly, Jose Mourinho now is being told by Ed Woodward he's going to get an £80 million spending spree in the January window, because obviously Mourinho's still looking to, he's looking for reinforcing the window. And Luke Shaw and Darmian could also go in January. But Ed Woodward and Mourinho have had discussions about this, and I think it's come to agreement. Ed Woodward is willing to give him £80 million, to spend in January as well. So we will see what happens about that. So anyway, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always, take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.